Hello friends, welcome back to our Magento tutorials. In this video, we will discuss about what are visual types, what is the use, and when to use these visual types. Guys, first check what are types in Magento 2 from my previous video and come back here. Now coming to what is visual type. Visual types are the classes where you can create functionality and pass that functionality to the constructor without creating a new class. If you don't understand, no issue. I'll explain in detail. In this video, my goal is to pass data to the constructor and show it in the front end so that it can be used anywhere in the application where the base class is created. For that, we need to follow some steps. In the step 1, create or use any class. Here I am creating new base class for this virtual type. For this class, we will define some virtual classes inside di.xml. This virtual class is simply equals to real PHP class. I will not create any new class. I'm just using one class and creating some classes which are not available in our code. You cannot see the virtual classes, by the way. Object Manager will create these virtual classes for us to inject data to the constructor. Okay, now we will create some files for this virtual type. Inside of this da.xml, I have declared the type. Previously, we created the type and passed some arguments with the string type, right? So like that, we need to pass some arguments. Okay, so inside of this argument, we will pass one object. What is the object here? So the virtual type, whatever the virtual type which we will create, we need to pass that object inside of this item. Virtual type here will pass here we will pass name. You can define any name. Okay, right now I'm just declaring VT, that's a virtual type. After that, have to declare this type. Here you need to pass one class. So you can create one new class or you can use the existing class. Okay, right now I'm just creating one PHP class for this virtual type. Okay, so the path would be webdev hello world. So instead of the block, yes. Okay. So this is the base class for my virtual type. Okay. So why I'm creating this? So virtual type depends on one base class, and you can create any number of classes. Okay, based on this class. You don't need to create any other classes. You just need to create one base class, and you can use this class and create multiple virtual types. Okay. So what is the use of this class? So whatever the virtual type I'm creating is just for just passing some arguments to the constructor in the form of array. So in this class, we will add some array data, which we will add in this virtual type. Okay. Instead of this virtual type, you need to add arguments, which we created something like type argument. Instead of this argument, we will pass argument. So the argument name. So it's an unique identity for this argument. Okay. Instead of this argument, I'll pass some items. It acts as a unique key for each array item. The item 1, I'll declare something like this. So I will pass string. You need to pass some data here. So what we did for the type in the previous video. Okay. So another argument you can pass. So you need to pass a unique key. Okay, those two keys will not match. Okay. Now I have some arguments, I have some array data, and I have created the virtual type. So the next step is we have to pass this virtual type to this type as an object. Okay, so here inside of this item, I have added this type as object, and inside of this you have to pass the virtual type name, whatever the name you mentioned for this virtual type. Okay. The next step is whatever the class you have added inside of this type, you have to create. If you have this class, then no issue, you can use that. So for that I need to create this class, block test. Okay, I already have this. Here just create one PHP class. Load block. Okay. Now just add some property, create one class constructor. So the data, this, set this data. Okay, that's it. Okay, set this data in the constructor. That's it. Okay, after you added this data in the constructor, so the data will be loaded here. Okay, whatever the virtual type arguments you created. So here you can fetch the array data which you created for this virtual type. Next one, just mention the key for it. Now the type plays a key role for this virtual type. We have passed this virtual type to this type, and this type is able to print this array data. Okay, so go to this particular class, block index. So instead of this constructor, whatever the virtual type you added and arguments you created for this virtual type, we can access that because we passed this virtual type as an object inside of this type. Okay, so this way we can pass virtual type data to the type, and this type will help us to print the data. Now I'll get all the array data. Here we are just fetching array items, so you don't need to do anything. That's it. Okay, so as you have created a new class and changed in the constructor, you have to run the di compile. Slash Magento di compile. Okay, now let's check in the front end. See here, we are getting all the array items which we added inside of the virtual types, right? This is similar to the previous video, types in Magento 2. So what is the difference between virtual type and type? The main difference is virtual types will work for one class and create number of dependent classes. So using this class, object manager will create multiple classes whenever you define this virtual type inside of this di.xml. Okay, so you can create n number of virtual types with the help of this same class. Okay, so what is the use of this class which you added in the virtual type? Virtual types are the subclasses for this parent class. Okay, and one more thing, we need to set the constructor. Okay, in this class, if you didn't set this, you will get some null values. For example, I'm not passing any data. Okay, now let's check in the front end. You will definitely get the null values. See here. Now this time we are getting null because we are not adding that in the constructor. Okay. Now let's revert this code. The DA compile. Okay. Now let's check in the front end. Refresh this page. See here, all the items are back. So you have to set that in the virtual type parent class. This type will change the constructor of the original class and add the methods top of it. Okay. So this way you can add the virtual types in Magento 2. I hope you understand. If you have any queries, just add it in the comment section. Thanks for watching.